Hello, everyone. Happy Memorial Day weekend. I hope you are having an amazing weekend with your family. I'm Dr. Janet Roark, the Essential Oil Vet, and I'm here for my weekly Q&A that happens every Sunday at 7 p.m. Central Time. So if you're hopping on here, I'm hoping my internet stays connected. But I would love for you to let me know what essential oil you're using this weekend and what you're using it for and where you're from. And if you have a question for me today about essential oils and animals, or just animals in general, or essential oils in general, feel free to pop it in the comments. I'm here to answer your questions just for a few minutes here. Take a little break from your family festivities this weekend to answer some questions. So, a few tips about what summertime treats are good for your pets. You can actually give dogs really healthy fruits like watermelon and blueberries to really help them with blueberries are really high in antioxidants. And watermelon is very, very high in moisture. And so it's really good for keeping them hydrated and cool on these hot summer days that are going to be coming our way. It was already pretty hot here in Texas today. The heat index was like 101. It was kind of crazy. So, hi, Samantha from Deer Lodge, Montana. Oh my goodness, it's probably beautiful up there right now. Lavender for your dogs this weekend. I love it. Noelle has a good question. Is it safe to give a 10-pound dachshund a Copaiba soft gel for pain? So the Copaiba soft gels are pretty large and have a little bit more oil than what they actually need. So I would really recommend, instead of doing the soft gels, to either make your own capsule with just 1 drop of Copaiba and a drop of frankincense, or you can just do a drop of Copaiba on a piece of chicken or some yummy, yummy treat that they'll just gobble right up. And that is another great way to get the oil to help support that Doxy's body. Kim from Indiana, so great to have you here. Melanie's using TerraShield for the drive-in and lavender for calming. I love it. TerraShield is so good at keeping those pests away. And all the lavender this weekend in case there's fireworks. Sometimes there's fireworks over Memorial Day. Not always. Here in Texas, they pretty much use any excuse to shoot off fireworks. So if you haven't checked out my fireworks video on YouTube, if you just Google my name or go to YouTube and you type in essential oil vet fireworks, it'll probably pop up. It's a quick 10-minute watch about how to help prevent all the accidents from happening during fireworks. A good preemptive thing before the 4th of July for sure, for those of you in the United States. Here we go. Okay, Marie has a question. Marie Ann, Princeton, British Columbia. I asked someone today if she had a diffuser. She said she didn't because she has a dog. What are good oils for a dog? So a lot of the essential oils that I use are awesome for dogs. Lavender, some of the ones that people talked about today, lavender, our grounding blend, Copaiba, frankincense. Just make sure that it's a pure brand. That is the biggest thing. Not anything from the grocery store, or don't ever get your oils off Amazon, even if it says it's a good brand, because chances are it's a scam. I hate to say it, but I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, or Facebook's going to cancel me now. But we have such a cancel culture these days. It's kind of crazy. But there are some really, really good ones. Roman chamomile. We have a lot of really great blends for dogs. Petitgrain are all very calming, but we also have great oils to help with fresh breath and healthy joints and skin and all sorts of things. So a lot of really good oils. If you want to learn about like what oils you can use for what, definitely check out the membership group, which is over at essentialoilvet.com/members. You can hop on there, and I do monthly webinars on there and all sorts of fun things. So Kim says, my babies love fruits and veggies. Yep. Carrots are excellent for dogs. Nice. And again, very high in moisture. And a lot of dogs really like the crunchiness of them. Okay. Ian says, what oils can you use internally for urinary issues? Tried topically, no changes. It really depends on what the urinary issue is. But topically, we really like Copaiba, juniper berry, and frankincense, and you can add in cedarwood or sandalwood as well. And then internally, you can certainly use, depending on what's going on, you can use our protective blend that is safe for internal use. Frankincense, Copaiba are also excellent. And then, of course, making sure that you're feeding an appropriate diet with enough water, not feeding kibble, which is pretty much the detriment of the urinary system. And you can definitely also use cranberry and things like that. Quite a few things you can do with the urinary system. But the main thing to help the urinary system is more water, giving more water, adding water to the food. If they're not drinking enough. Even if you think they're drinking enough, they might not be. Oh, Joe, I love this. This is such a good idea. I freeze pumpkin in ice cube trays, and my 80-pound dog loves these as treats. So during the summertime, you can absolutely make what I like to call pupsicles. And that is basically like taking fruits and veggies and things like canned pumpkin and putting them in like a silicone ice cube tray. You can put some chicken broth in there. You can actually put little bowls in there so it takes them a little longer to eat. And they love licking those on hot days. Sometimes gobble them up pretty quickly, but it helps keep them cool as well. Such a great idea. Oh, Facebook user says Deep Blue for my favorite this week for a lame hind on our quarter horse. Absolutely such a good blend to use for sore joints and legs for sure on horses. Kate, was it Kathy, is it normal for dogs to have a decrease in appetite? She's 6 months old and has gotten so picky. So usually that means there's something in the digestive system that's going on, or she's just being really picky because somebody's giving her lots of treats and she's holding out for her treats. So they do tend to decrease in the amount of food that they need as they get older. But at 6 months, she should be eating quite a bit still as she's growing. And definitely take a look at what food you're giving and making sure you're not giving too much. Sometimes you're just giving too much and they don't need that many calories. So making sure you calculate that based on weight and not necessarily what it says on the food dish, on the label. Let's see. Oh, Nancy says, thank you so much for the anti-itch spray recipe. It's working wonders for my dog. You're welcome, Nancy. I'm so glad it's helping. I love that spray. It's so good. Gina says, what oils can I use for my son's cat? He's itching from environmental allergies and over groomer as well. So the best thing is to keep the cat indoors if it's environmental, and definitely address the flea issue if there's any fleas with either a topical or feed through flea medication. And then certainly you can use oils that are soothing to the skin, and then making sure, as far as over grooming goes, that typically goes back to the food, and that tends to be more of a digestive upset issue, in which case feeding a species appropriate, which is for cats an obligate carnivore diet, and feeding a raw diet is really, really good for these guys. So that is where I would start. As far as oils go, I do have an itch spray recipe. If you go to the skin rejuvenating spray over at essentialoilvet.com/recipes, this link right here, you can grab that skin rejuvenating spray. It has oils like lavender and myrrh and frankincense and helichrysum in there, which is really, really good for the skin and for itchiness. And it has some aloe in there as well. You'll want to dilute it a little bit more for a kitty cat, but other than that, it's a really good recipe. But yes, I don't recommend kibble if for dogs with urinary tract issues. Let's see. Here we go. Can you diffuse Adaptiv or Island Mint with cats? So those are two different blends that doTERRA has. Let me see if I have. Thought I had some Island Mint around here. Here we go. So the oils in Island Mint are lime, lemon, peppermint, and spruce. And so this can be a pretty strong one for cats. But if you're only putting 2 to 3 drops in your diffuser and you leave the room door open, it's totally fine unless you have a kitty that has really bad asthma or some other respiratory condition going on. And then Adaptiv is totally safe. It's got wild orange, lavender, copaiba, spearmint, magnolia, rosemary, neroli, and sweet gum. And all of those are totally fine. Spearmint of the mints is the most mild of the mints when it's diffused for cats, and there's such a small amount in there that it really doesn't make that big of a difference. I haven't had anybody have an adverse reaction to that one. So that one, it again, 3 to 4 drops in your water-based diffuser. Make sure your room door is open, and if you have an intermittent setting on your diffuser, that's a great way to use oils around kitties. So let's see. Joe, how many of those ice cube pumpkin treats can I give my 80-pound dog? So it depends on how big the ice cubes are, but I wouldn't give them more than a few. 3, 4 would probably be a little, that would be plenty. I definitely would not. I'd probably do 2 or 3 max at a time, just because that does have a lot of fiber in it. And so we want to make sure the digestive system doesn't get upset. Too many treats is never a good thing, even if they're healthy treats. So awesome. Ruth, Ruth, I see your question. It's kind of controversial, so I'm just gonna tell you my 2 cents on it. So why can essential oil reps not show scientific facts, but health sites can? We are not even allowed to link if we link out to study. That's true, and it has to do with FDA regulations, because a lot of studies show that essential oils have certain properties, like, for example, having possible anti-inflammatory properties. Now, an anti-inflammatory, by the definition of the FDA, is a medication. And because essential oils are not medications, we can't call it that. And so that is part of the reason why that goes on. I definitely think the big pharma has something to do with it. They're very powerful, very, very rich, and do control a lot of things. I actually I remember it was several years ago, it was probably like 10 years ago now, that I went to a veterinarian conference. It was in Reno. It was in Las Vegas. It was in Las Vegas, one of the biggest ones in the country. And I was super excited because I was seeing one of my friends that I hadn't seen since like vet school. And we were going to go together and share a room, and it was going to be epic. Now, Vegas was definitely not my favorite city. It's very big city and very busy, and everything costs money. Like you can't even take a picture with someone without having to pay them $5, or probably like $20 now. But this was like 10 years ago. And we went to this conference, and at the conference, the drug companies actually they sponsor a lot of things, right? Because they want you to recommend their products, right? As a veterinarian, that's just the way it is. And so, they want you to see all the new things that they have going on. So that was the year that that was the year that NextGuard came out. That's what they were kind of telling us about the research and that sort of thing. And so we went to this, we got invited to this like blue carpet event. And I think because that's what their brand is. And so it was blue carpet, like super fancy. They had a celebrity chef there. They had ice sculptures and orchids everywhere, and like these super amazing hors d'oeuvres, and it was open bar. And so I had a couple of glasses of wine. It was really very fun and very nice. And I remember talking to my friend, and we learned about the next guard, and it seemed very promising. And we were pretty, everybody was pretty excited about it. And we loved the party, obviously, that they threw for us. And my friend and we got these like gift bags and everything. And we left this blue carpet event at this veterinary conference. And, my friend that was with me, who's a veterinarian, turned to, we were kind of talking about it, and I'm like, that was really fun. And she's like, yeah, it was really fun, but how much did they just spend on that party? And I was like, oh my gosh, probably like $100,000 or something like that. She's like, yeah, I wish they would just not throw those parties and take money off of the drugs so more people could get them. And it just was like a wake up moment for me. And this is before I even started with essential oils or anything. And I was like, it just made me sick to my stomach, just how much money this pharmaceutical company had put into this event to get us to learn about it, but also to kind of like convince us to use it as well, to be honest. And so it was pretty, that's pretty normal. And I wish it's not, it's not the my favorite thing in the world. And it is kind of the way the world is. It is really sad that we can't share openly the information that is out there about essential oils because of some of the rules and regulations that the FDA has. But we do have to follow the rules, and we do have certain areas where we can talk a little bit more freely. So I do recommend everybody join the membership because I do post some articles and things in there. Not, because it's a private group, I can do that a little bit more, and certainly try to stay compliant in that regard too. So I know it's not like the best answer in the world, Ruth, but that is where we're at with today's world. And I think more and more people are waking up to the fact that this is the truth, and are seeing through the smokescreen that some of these pharmaceutical companies and other companies, it's not just the essential oil world, it's or medicine, it's a lot of different things, and like even social media and everything. So I think that people are getting more aware of it, and so they're reaching out for more natural options more and more these days, which puts the essential oil companies in a pretty good place, as well as the people who are selling the essential oils. So don't fret, there's ways around it, and you can share the truth and the goodness one-on-one, and definitely encourage people to do their own research as well. So there you go, there's my little soapbox for today. Sorry guys, oh my goodness. Okay, so yes, Dana, I definitely answered the question about the UTI already, so watch the replay if you get a chance. Oh, here we go. So we'll end with this one. So Angela has a pretty straightforward question. So Angela has an 8-month-old labradoodle. We love labradoodles that just got neutered yesterday. And I would really like to use some oils to ease his pain and chill him out, as he's usually a very energetic puppy. Very true. Any recommendations on oils to use for him? So use some calming oils diffuse, whether that's lavender or Roman chamomile or petitgrain. Those are all really good options. Or calming blend, the kids calming blend, you can roll right on his ears. And then so diffuse an oil. You can use a calming oil topically diluted, of course. So that calming blend from the kids collection is really excellent. And then you can give a couple of oils internally as well. So Copaiba and frankincense, 1 to 2 drops each twice a day, help with discomfort. And then topically around the incision, not over the sutures, but around the incision, you can do a diluted blend of myrrh and helichrysum, which is really good for healing and decreasing bruising. So you do those 2 oils, do about 4 to 5 drops each in a 10 milliliter roller bottle. Top off that roller bottle with fractionated coconut oil or whatever carrier oil you have around, and then You can roll that around the incision. If he doesn't like the roller on him, you can put it on your finger and kind of go around that as well. So definitely topically do that, do the oils internally, and then diffused as well. So all three to help calm him down and help him have a good recovery after his surgery. So good question. And that is all the time I have for today. Sorry, I had to go on my little story a little bit, but I really hope you enjoyed this, maybe learned a thing or two, got a couple of recipes out of it. And if you want to learn more, definitely check out the membership over at essentialoilvet.com/members, or you can go to login and it'll tell you, oh, you're not a member yet, and you can sign up that way too. So I hope you have a happy Memorial Day, everyone, and I will see you next week. Bye.